We have this moody day in October. We are going to do a Haunted Snohomish ride. We're starting out in the Snohomish Pioneer Cemetery. My understanding is that this very old cemetery, in which you see no headstones, had several hundred bodies laid to rest here. Many of them were dug up as a highway came through, and some of them still remain. The city tried to develop the area, but instead it was left empty, and some of the gravestones were set up across the street as kind of a tribute to the deceased. Neither of these two cemetery areas are known to be haunted, but they are an interesting part of Snohomish history. This cemetery is not supposed to be haunted, but it is definitely a haunt for a lot of ladybugs, it turns out. Creepy? You decide. We're coming up on our first stop, and we're cheating a little on the sidewalk here because there's no one really on it, and these streets don't really have bike lanes, so we would rather not become ghosts ourselves. Built as a home in 1905, the Cabbage Patch didn't become a restaurant until the late 70s. It is most reputed to be haunted by a little girl named Sybil Sibley, who fell down the stairs and broke her neck, dying in the 1930s. The family apparently didn't move to this home until the 1950s, but it seems their daughter came along with them. There are also rumors of a man who haunts this place, who some people believe is Sybil's angry uncle who may have pushed her. And other stories talk of the ghost of a dog who also once lived here at this home. The decor here is vintage, but the food is fresh and tasty. Look at these pies. So the waitress that served me said that one time she was here alone, and somebody told her that a patron was staring out the window and that it was rude to get them to stop, but nobody was upstairs. We'll be coming back this way shortly. But for now, let's head to our second stop. This very historic town. Our second stop was the former public library of Snohomish, which has since moved. This building was built in 1910. Around 3,500 libraries were built in the United States from a donation that came from Andrew Carnegie, which is why they're called Carnegie Libraries. After the library was relocated to a larger, more modern building, this building sat empty for quite a while before it was restored. Now it is a community building that can be used for meetings, or you can rent it for your events. I came during their open house to check out the inside of this building for myself and see if maybe I could glimpse the spirit of a former librarian who is said to still be here to this very day. Today for the open house, they're showing some of the historical pictures from Snohomish.
Are they building on it now?
But I'm looking for a particular picture here. I'll have to ask. Catherine McMurtry, on the right side of this photo, was the librarian from 1923 to 1939. Many people have reported seeing her in this building, and none of them were scared, as she appears to be a friendly spirit. I asked the man who was there to answer questions if he'd experienced any hauntings, and he said he hadn't, but one of his co-workers' daughters had in fact seen Catherine here. The Oxford was built in 1900 and was originally Blackman's dry goods store. After that, its life became a little more sordid. The Oxford was a bar, a speakeasy, and a brothel as well. It has a reputation of being the most haunted public building in the town of Snohomish. Two of the most well-known ghosts here are women, one possibly Catherine, the madam of the brothel, and another, Amelia, a prostitute in the brothel who was found dead in her closet upstairs. She was very likely murdered, but nobody was ever tried or convicted for this crime. Another famous ghost here at the Oxford is Henry. He's the policeman at the upper left here. He worked on the weekends as a bouncer, and one night when he was trying to break up a fight, he was brutally stabbed to death on the stairs just to the left of this picture. Then there's Annabelle. I'm not sure how she came to be here, but apparently she gets very angry if she's removed from the building. We asked our waitress if she had experienced any of the hauntings for herself, and she said one night when she was closing alone, she had just gone to the front of the store to lock up when suddenly all of the lights went out, but the electricity was still on. She also related a story about a co-worker who was upstairs when suddenly all of her machinery kept flickering on and off, and she heard pounding noises. Our little haunted loop was just under 2 miles. I don't think I'd recommend it as a bike ride because there are not any bike lanes and you go behind a lot of parked cars that would be backing out and wouldn't see you. We ended up taking the sidewalk a bit at a time. Snohomish itself is just drenched in really interesting history, so it's probably worthy of a longer, more in-depth historic ride. But for this season, we just did a short haunted ride. We hope you enjoyed it.